if you are a driver's champion, Sam, you do not lose your seat. There's no way.
I don't know.
Max or not, I do not think Toto or Mercedes could just, congratulations on winning us a championship. Now get fucked. There's the door.
All right, Ryan, it's the cool down rundown. Japanese Grand Prix is over.
Holy shit.
We are going to talk about it. We're going to get a review in. Everything Japanese Grand Prix starts now, the cool down rundown, and there's only one way to start the podcast.
Absolutely, brother. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Oh. Sweet sounds.
Sweet sounds. Sweet racing.
Oh. Wow.
Sweet weekend.
Yeah, sweet weekend. Enjoy it. We ain't getting another one for another 4 weeks. Ryan, what did you think of the race? You were up late last night watching it.
I had to plan for it, had to have a couple extra cups of coffee. But it was entertaining enough to keep me awake the entire time. I was honestly worried for there. This race was different compared to Australia and China in the aspect of it wasn't like 20 straight laps of chaos and then it kind of just settled down. It ebbed and flowed throughout the entire race. Like there was some intensity and then it would die down. And I was worried by like lap 7, I put in my notes, Sam. I was like, this might be a snoozer. And then like 2 laps later, it picked back up again and there were some battles. So I appreciated that because I feel like, especially Suzuka, it's a track where you don't get a lot of action because we already know most of the winners come from the front row. So it was nice to kind of see some battles throughout the entire grid. Yeah, I was pleased. What about you?
This is definitely, I think, a more traditional weekend for Formula One and a more traditional race where the laps kind of count down and it's more about the strategy and see if they can mount a challenge later on because it wasn't like lap after lap after lap after lap like we had in Australia and China. This seemed a little bit more collected of a race here in Japan. And you're exactly right. I was probably around lap 10 myself. I was like, man, I don't know what we're going to talk about on the pod. But we got there, and I was like, I have plenty to talk about for this race. And it kind of kicked off with Kimi screwing up his pole position that he secured very strongly in the qualifying.
Yeah, horrible start by Kimi.
Horrible start.
Dropping down to, what was it, fifth
or sixth, something like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of his qualifying session, because it was actually very dominant. He won by 3/10 over his teammate George, 2/10 over his teammate, like straight up domination. Whereas like George didn't get out in China to mount a challenge against Kimi, but Kimi did it on Saturday. And Ryan, we had a pretty interesting qualifying session to watch for ourselves because we both made our bets on the qualifying for our bet slip.
We sure did, and mine was wrong after Q1, buddy. That was painful.
Yours was Bearman top 6 qualified.
Yes.
And
whenever you messaged me and you were like, hey, let me know when you get to the end of Q1, I already knew that. I was like, fuck.
I was like, let me know.
Fuck.
And then, Lindblad knocked out Max into going into Q3. I was like, well, there's a chance he could get to P6.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me the chance. And there was not. So, buddy, I say we just kick this off. We rip it off like a Band-Aid. And
couldn't agree more.
Pay up. Time to pay up. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to being bad at betting. Ooh.
That's probably the worst shot I've taken on this pod, dude.
What was it?
It was some Japanese whiskey. Hey, it was Japanese whiskey.
Hey, wow.
Yeah.
Way to insult them like that, Sam.
No, actually, the whiskey's really good. It's probably just not meant to be taken as a shot. Oh, man. It woke me up, let me tell you. Kimi Antonelli, youngest F1 driver to lead a championship.
Dude, it is exciting. Beginning of the race, but before it even started, I literally was just writing my notes. I was like, I really hope Kimi wins this race. And then he dropped to 5th and 6th. Ooh. And I was like, Chad, he's cooked. I didn't think he was going to come back from that. But he had a very solid drive, and he had the luck of waiting long enough to pit when the safety car happened. And that basically just put him in the best possible position to secure this win. And I'll tell you who wasn't happy about that was his teammate, George Russell. That man was screaming his little head off into the radio.
Bro, George Russell goes, that happens because the safety car comes out because Bearman crashes, right? And George goes, unfucking believable. The luck we have these last two races. Meanwhile, there's like a driver literally in the wall. I think somebody's having a worse luck than you right now, George.
Yeah, poor Bearman
Yeah.
is literally limping out of the car,
Yeah.
needing assistance, and his crash was like registered at 50 Gs.
Yeah.
Like it was a nasty crash.
was.
I'm glad he's okay, but yeah, and George is over here just like fuck my life,
He's
man.
like, I'm having the
Nothing's
worst
worse than
day
this.
I can have. Meanwhile, Bearman, like over in the corner.
Just hanging on the side of the hood.
You know, I was gonna say because man, you talked to me, last week. I was like, I feel like this is Georgia's championship, really to kind of lose, right?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, especially if Kimi won, if Kimi won this race and George got P2 or whatever, I was like, man, I wonder how Kimi's maturity. I wonder how the stress is going to get to Kimi over the season, right? Can he hold up? Can he do a championship battle for a season? I'm a little concerned for George now.
I'm very concerned for George.
Yeah.
Because he's already getting upset that teams are coming after Mercedes
Yep.
for the engine compression or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
or the fact that everyone is wanting to have even more build-up time to start the race, but Ferrari's putting their foot down, being like, you have enough, deal with it. And he's bitch, pissing, and moaning after 2 races, Sam. And now he has to worry about his teammate, who is plenty of years younger than him, leading the championship now? Yeah, that has got to be a tough pill to swallow.
It does, but I mean, I feel like you have to have a certain amount of maturity to you to know that China was not your fault. He got P2 in qualifying because of his the mistakes of the Mercedes engine, right? Where did he finish in China?
I thought he finished P2.
He finished P2. Yeah, so he still
Yeah.
got P2. Not bad. So like
I
I
didn't
think
get P2 today. He'd even make podium.
yes. And you could blame that completely on the safety car. That is unlucky. And you can ask any F1 driver, champion and winner, that luck plays an important role throughout the season. And yeah, it sucks that you got 2 right off the bat, and it sucks that happened this early on. But kind of losing your cool early on is like pretty, in my opinion, a bad sign for George Russell stands.
I agree completely, Sam. I think there's a lot that's going to go into this when we look back at by the end of the season. I think Japan is going to be the first moment of like a pivotal shift of like the what if questions, like how we compared
Sure.
Lando and Oscar and even Max last season of these what if scenarios. I think Suzuka is definitely going to be the chapter 1 of that for this season between
prelude.
these two boys. Because I mean, the title fight right now is clearly Kimi and George. So
Well, Ryan, it's too
I'm
early
very
to talk
curious
about
to see.
championship battles. We got to protect Kimi. We got to protect Kimi from the
Oh, yeah.
championship talks. That's coming from Toto. It's unfair. It's unfair.
he's just trying to downplay it, dude. Kimi was I want to also talk about the whole persona of Kimi from his first win in China
Yeah.
to this win. Completely different man
Dude.
on that podium, and I'm kind of here for it.
That's the beauty of getting that monkey off your back, right? He wins in
yeah.
China. He's crying his eyes out. Like he gets to feel his feelings. He wins in Japan, and he's like, like hitting the
Kid
strats.
feels like a rock star, and he
feels-
kind of
he's like-
should, honestly.
Yeah. And I think too with this championship battle, because it's going to be between the Mercedes, like it just is. So like it's on their mind already. But what kind of mental? I think that it applies both. It's a double-edged sword for Kimi and George. You're now leading by 9 points, which is more than a race win, second place between the boys, and you have a whole month before you go back at it. If you're George, do you stew on that? Do you fester on that? If you're Kimi, do you get too high on your own supply? I think it's an interesting. I don't know what the answer is, but I think it's an interesting. Idea.
We'll know come May,
Yeah.
in Miami,
What come
and how
May?
and how they react to the Miami race.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a tall tale sign for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ferrari is already viewing it as like a reset for the season, for them at least, as Miami is going to be the new starting point for where they're hoping to be. So I think there's going to be a lot that's going to happen in just 5 weeks' time. But between now and then, I do wonder. But I'm going to I want to take this with a grain of salt, Sam.
Sure.
Um, I'm viewing Kimi right now, and I'm putting a lot of hope and eggs in this basket that he's going to give us a close title fight, at least into like the same aspect as Lewis did in McLaren in his first 2 seasons.
Sure.
Because like I mean, in his second season, he
Keeping
won
George
the
honest.
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he almost won in his first season. He was just like a point or two off. So,
Or
I'm not saying Kimi is Lewis Hamilton. I am not
No.
saying that. But I do hope that he brings the fight to George like Lewis did to Fernando
so
back
what
in the
you're
day.
saying is that the two the two Mercedes boys, a la Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, fight so hard with each other that a sneaky Ferrari winner like Kimi Raikkonen, 2007,
Charles Leclerc.
yeah, runs in there and gets a sneaky championship out of there. It is the year of the horse, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, Sam, if that's what the stars are telling us, if that's what the zodiacs are telling us, then by all means, why not? Why not? Why not dream a little bit as a Ferrari fan? Shoot for the stars, I say.
Well, what do you think if this is a tight title fight? I think it bodes horribly for George, because I think George, for his own stock and for his own position in Mercedes, really needs to blow Kimi out of the water this season.
He has to.
because,
he
like,
has to.
I want your honest opinion on this. I've seen a lot of conjecture online, a lot of talking points. We're going to get into it a little bit later about Max possibly bowing out at the end of the season. But if Max was to jump ship, do you think Mercedes would take him? Let's answer that question first. If Max was the jump ship, do you think Mercedes would take him?
First off, the first question is, would Max want to go to another team at this point in time?
Yes.
If yes, then yes, absolutely.
Sure.
And I think a lot is going to be answered with this season, Sam, because last season, when the rumors and speculation was happening during silly season on if Max was going to leave and go to Mercedes, who does he take over? Does he get rid of George? Did
Yes.
they get rid of Kimi? What happens? And back then, I was rationalized. I'm like, you put so much time, energy, and effort into George. Like, you've built him into this guy. It's hard for me to kind of see them want to let that go. But if Kimi is already leading the championship after 3 races and George is pissed off because the universe just had some shit luck for him, that doesn't bode well for him.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think at that point, like, it makes me reassess my thought process from last year and realize Toto was probably like, yeah, I'd rather have a Max and Kimi combo instead of a George and Kimi.
I think there's a universe where George wins the championship and loses his seat to Max. If Max stays in Formula One, like we're gonna venture that.
I don't
later
know
on.
about that. I don't know.
I think if,
No.
That's why I said I think George would need to
can't.
blow Kimi out of the
No.
water.
If you are a driver's champion, Sam,
don't know, man.
you do not lose your seat.
Oof.
There's no way.
I don't know.
Max or not, I do not think Toto or Mercedes could just congratulations on winning us a
You won.
championship. Now get fucked.
Well, here's
There's
the
the
thing.
door.
We don't know what his contract is, because it definitely wasn't what George kind of wanted. They drew that down for very long. There might be some clauses in there against Kimi specifically. I'm just my whole viewpoint of this is that if Kimi pulls up and it stays like really close to George, I think they go, okay, we can let George go. Kimi's there. But if like George blows Kimi out of the water, I think George secures his seat a little bit more. And it just feels weird. It's a weird aspect because I feel like George just has harder expectations put on him from me, from Mercedes, from Toto.
I mean, he's been in there longer.
He has, but like he's, I don't know, like the way Toto treats Kimi is his like
Well,
love child, man. It's way Toto treats Kimi very closely about how Zach treats Lando.
Well, no, okay. I saw a comparison. I have a few things to say here, so bear with me. I saw a comparison. I forget who said it specifically, so forgive me. But someone was saying that George is about to receive the Daniel Ricciardo treatment from Red Bull.
Could be.
In the same way
Yeah.
that he, like with
Yeah.
Max. It's the same aspect. Like, Daniel was looking great. He had all the right stuff, but you just had a better, younger, stronger driver
Yeah.
that was able to do it in a much quicker time than what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the pressure is on him. So if he doesn't, if George does not win this championship this season and Kimi does, then yeah, goodbye, George. See you. Especially if there's a reality of Max wanting to just jump Red Bull and go into another team, then yes, I agree. But if George wins the championship, as close as it is or not, I don't see a reality of Mercedes kicking him to the curb and bringing on Max when Max is already bitching enough about this reg cycle as it is. So I just
In this fantasy world, though,
I don't know.
in this fantasy
Yeah.
world where Max
Sure.
wants to jump ship but doesn't want to retire, but is willing to jump ship, George wins the championship by 4 points over Kimi. Does Mercedes say, "Sorry, Max, we have our guy. We have a championship winner with George, and we have a generational talent with Kimi. We are good to go. Go look elsewhere."
At that point, I think so. I
Okay.
really do. Because like, just as another hypothetical question here, it's like, well, George has already proved that he can win a championship in this regulation cycle in our car. Max, all of you can do right now is fight Piastri, or not Piastri, excuse me,
Gasly.
fight Pierre for seventh, and not even get that right now.
Right.
So that I think you have to also think about where we're at for the
It's a
careers of
big
these guys
hypothetical.
too.
Yes.
It is. It's a huge hypothetical.
And I think this actually really kind of goes into our next talking point, honestly, because I think you're right. It's like, oh, Max, what do you have to prove because you can't even take on Gasly? But that's like with the benefit of having a great car, right? Where you're in front and you don't have any championships.
absolutely.
And then we saw today that McLaren actually has a little bit of fight into it. If it can drive, it can live, you know?
Dude, it's pretty quick.
Yeah,
it's pretty
well,
quick.
You know
and
what?
that
They got
scares
a
me.
fucking Mercedes engine under them, you know? If they
Yeah.
can just figure out their aero package a little bit and get a little smarter, they could be a legitimate threat. Now, McLaren has been pretty vocal about not getting the entire rule book from Mercedes on how to operate this engine. So it only really comes to conjecture that like they will figure it out race by race by race. So who knows that in next year or the third year or the fourth year, like Mercedes might have a problem with their customer team in McLaren. And Piastri looked mighty strong today. He looked really good. He looked great off the start.
Oscar looked like he pre-summer break Oscar from 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
He was calm, cool, collective. They gave him a couple different options on strategy
Yep.
he can go for, and what I loved about him this time, Sam, something that we didn't see last year, he just said, "Okay, fuck it, why not?" Like he actually made the decision instead of just reverting back to the team
Yep.
to decide for him. And I really do appreciate that from Oscar to finally like have a little bit of autonomy in what he wants to do in a race.
Dude,
so that was nice to see.
He even's like, you know, if we can keep this position, we can win. If we can
Yeah.
stay ahead of him, we can win. And I'm
That
like,
car looked fucking quick.
that was great to hear. And it's like, I think that Mercedes runs perfectly in fresh air. Like Kimi won this race by what, 15, 14 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so like if it's in fresh air, it's great. He won by 13.7 seconds.
But in traffic,
But
like
in traffic,
George,
man, it's hard to get by. It's hard to make some results. Ask George Russell today. Like he got, you know, unbelievably unlucky, you know. So, you know, I would love to see if we get Ferrari to go in there to slow everybody down off their race starts. They had a good race start. And then the McLarens to keep them honest, you know. It's still a Mercedes runaway, but hey.
it is a Mercedes runaway, but I think the thing that I really appreciated the most of Japan this weekend, Sam, was Mercedes did have to work for it a little
Yes.
bit more this time around. And it's nice that there's 3 teams right now kind of beating the fuck out of each other.
A little bit.
Like, you know, if Mercedes gets out in front, yeah, they're gone. They're off to the races. Pack your bags, boys. You're fighting for second and third. But if you don't have them out in front yet, you have a shot at slowing them down or causing some chaos.
Yeah.
And I just do love this 3-team dynamic right now of them just wailing on each other. And sometimes it's also teammate versus teammate. Ask Lewis and George, or not Lewis and George, Lewis and Charles.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's great chaos, man. It really is.
I would love to see Kimi versus George. I feel like we haven't
Yes.
seen
Yes.
much overtakes from the Kimi side of things. He got the move done, or he got the safety car in his favor. He lost out on positions, but he gained some up in those before that safety car came out. So he did work, but I would like to see him really work for it. and I'd
The
love to
one
see him go against
overtake he
George.
did do was, and both Mercedes drivers did this, was in the final chicane in that little right turn right there where no one really expects
Yeah.
anyone to make that lunge anymore. They both made a pass right there.
Yeah.
I forget who Kimi overtook in that moment. I believe it was Charles,
Yeah.
or Oscar, one or the other. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, you're right. I would like to see some wheel-to-wheel action between those two boys out in front. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we get that. You know, we know we didn't really get to see that much with McLaren last season, so who knows what Toto will do.
I'm just glad we got to see Charles. You know, I think I'm glad to see Charles get that little leg up over Lewis. Lewis got the podium last weekend. Charles got it this weekend.
They're passing it back and forth with each other.
You know, I'm perfectly A-okay with them. I don't want one of them to run away with it, and I'd like for them to keep, keeping each other honest and pushing each other to the limit. And I like to see.
They sure did.
And they did. And Leclerc, and it wasn't Hamilton's. He just didn't have a good one because he finished sixth this race. And at one point, he was in the podium positions, and he lost out to his teammate Russell and Norris himself. So, Lewis wasn't having the best one, but that's okay. Leclerc on the podium, beating out Russell, which Russell could not get by him, man. He just could not get by him. I think if Russell was a little smarter.
Because Charles is better.
Yes. Well, I think if Russell was just a tad bit smarter, because he got him through that last chicane, right? It was lap 51 out of 53, or I'm not sure how many laps there was. It was, 53. On lap 51 out of 53, he gets him in the chicane. Leclerc gets him in the straight immediately after. If Russell could have just waited to do that on the last lap, dive down, get that pass taken over by the end of the chicane, Leclerc would not have had the time to pass him on the straight leg. So I think there was a play, but it just didn't work out.
Only time will tell what happens with those two.
Well, not everybody was happy with this race, Ryan. We already discussed George Russell not being the happiest. I needed to listen to I did not listen to any of his interviews. I need to go back. I don't know if you've seen that picture of him looking that
He looks like he has tears in his eyes.
Oh, from this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about his China qualifying Grand Prix picture where he has the headband on.
No.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
He looks like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. It's a very unfortunate picture, because he's getting out and he's has his hairband pushing it back and he just looks pissed. They just took a very unflattering picture, but it's a meme going around. I'll send it to you. I'll put it on the pod.
It happens.
It happens. But we had a couple people unhappy. Do you want to get into Max a little bit?
I do.
Oh no. Never mind. Let's skip past it.
I do. I've been waiting days for this one, Sam. Max is okay. Before I get into my opinions on this, for the folks who don't know, the first round of press interviews that were happening on Thursday or Friday, this is 30 minutes before the cameras even come in and they turn them on. There's a reporter there from The Guardian that's in the room, and Max is in there. And Max just says, oh, he needs to leave. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm not speaking until he gets out. And essentially forces a reporter that is allowed to be there to have to leave the interview room because Max doesn't like him. And the reason why is from a comment or a question that this reporter asked Max at the end of last season in Abu Dhabi. The question being, do you regret your collision with George in Spain that gave him that penalty and lost him out points, which we talked about on this pod extensively. There's a lot of variables in a championship, but that was something that he had complete control over, and his temper got the best of him. And he lost out on valuable points that could have benefited him in the championship last season. And he's still holding a grudge over that, Sam. And yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
I'm of two minds. Well, mainly, I'm more of on the journalist side of this debate.
Right answer.
Everything you said is correct. The guy was has a right to be there. From what I've read, is that this is the guy that asked him about the Spain question, and it's a very valid question because that's something I think everybody wanted to know. Hey, you lost out 9 points in Spain. You could have had those points. You could have won this championship in 2025. Like, it's a very valid question, and it needed to be asked.
Yes.
But the way he asked it, at least the way that has, at least Max has interpreted, he's like, you sit there with a grin on your face when you ask that question. Like, this is back in Abu Dhabi. Like, so you're over here smirking at me as you ask about why I lost this championship. And I think this kind of goes into Formula One having a really bad bias from all media, because it's media from all different languages and countries. And so Max got really upset by that, which I think is a small aspect of this story that goes unbidden, as that this guy asked not an inflammatory question, but a question in a way that, like, get out of that fucker kind of a thing, like giving him attitude. I don't think it was right for Max to then, boycott, kick him out of the press conference for it. But I do understand where I think Max's frustration with media being shitty to him, because he also did the same thing with Ted Kravitz 3 years back, when Ted Kravitz was talking like shit on him madly. So I gotta get the aspect of, like, I don't know why I got to deal with these people that openly or mock me a little bit, but it's part of the job. And so, like I said, I'm more on the journalist side here, but I do see a little bit of Max's perspective.
I understand the whole issue here, and I've been reading up on this a lot. It's the British bias against Max, and I'm not going to discredit that there is a bias against Max, but at the same time, he's also built himself up over his career a rap sheet for having this bias put towards him in situations where his temper flares up. And that's what's most frustrating. You are a 4-time driver's champion, Max. You should not be acting like a little kid and getting so upset over a single question. If the media spins it a certain way, that's not your job. They're doing their job. You need to do your job and just answer the reporter and let them do their job too. And that's where it's not frustration. It's just kind of like a reminder of why I have been a Max hater for so long as a F1 fan. Is because I feel like we are starting to really see Max's true form come back now that he's not winning races again. He's not winning races. His car is not the greatest. He's not passing an Alpine in Pierre Gasly. He just drove in a different race, won it, and got disqualified. This man is going through it right now. And it was Podium Sundays. A little plug for them. They do great reporting on F1 on social media. In Podium Sundays, they were saying this is the only way Max feels like he has control right now is to throw a little temper tantrum and to kick someone out of a room. And, like, yeah, and, like, sure, but, like, that doesn't make it right either. I do recognize the British bias. I'm not discrediting that either. There is definitely some there. But it's not right for you to kick someone out of a room just because you don't like the questions they ask. It is your job to answer the tough questions.
Hey,
it's a part of the job.
The president can do it, Max can do it, is what I'm hearing.
Oh boy.
Or if you think about it, it's the master class, Ryan, that Max, because now other reporters are boycotting Max. In their, I don't know if you've seen this. The story continues. The other reporters are now boycotting interviewing Max in solidarity with their reporter. And Max,
it was all of his game. He didn't want questions asked him.
This is all I had to do, man. This is all I had to do. They're leaving me alone.
Like, finally, it took fucking 9 years to finally do this. Jesus,
I just had to be a dick a little bit longer, and they finally got it. It's not new for Max to be upset with the media, and to not also, to, I don't know, stand on what he thinks is right, but it might not be the right thing to do. For sure. Yeah. I'm with you though. I am, I'm on the reporter side for sure, but I could see where Max is coming from a little bit.
I was worried that you were going to be like a full Max stan, because I have seen, I've been checking social media and I've been checking the comments of people talking about this story.
Yeah.
And a lot of Max stans are just like, he shouldn't have been asking him that question. Like, how dare they ask him that question? I'm just like, what are we doing?
No,
that is a reasonable question to ask.
Great question to ask. But did you see the question the reporter asked the Olympic skier? She was an American citizen who then skied for China, and she's like one of the most Olympic medalist there is. And this reporter asked her, you getting silver or bronze, do you view this as one more silver medal or one less gold you could have gotten? I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She laughed at him, and she's like, I'm the most decorated skier there is. Like, I don't feel like anything. And like the comments were like, how dare he ask that question? I'm like, I honestly thought it was kind of a reasonable question, but a lot of people were like against the reporter. And I was like, I think that's actually...
There's a lot to say about journalism
Oh, for sure.
over time. And like a part of being a journalist and like reporting on stuff is you have to ask the tough questions. And people get so upset now when you ask those questions. Like, we have a right to ask those questions and for people to answer it. So
Yeah.
I don't discredit anyone from asking a hard question on anyone, whether it's in sports, news, politics, whatever. You know, they're doing their jobs as they should be.
And I think there is also, as journalists are in this world, a lot of people are like, why did he ask that question? Why did that, reporter ask that Olympic skier that question? Why did he asking Max that question? And then on the same hand, yes, they should ask these questions, the ones that matter. And I think the drivers, the athletes need to answer that, because there's a lot of these things have been going on in like basketball and football of like, why do they have to give an interview right after the game kind of a thing? Like,
yes, that happened with Justin Herbert.
Yes.
With the LA Chargers this past season.
And like,
yes,
there's a lot of discourse of like, well, he just lost, he's in his feelings. It's like, okay, do you know why he gets paid so much money? It's because we all watch him, and we also listen to the broadcasters who are journalists and read their news, because they're there. They're the ones they're the boots on the ground. Like, if it was a war, they're the news reporters, the war reporters telling us what's going on, because they're right there. So if you're going to get all the money from all the eyes watching your sport, the flip side of that is that you answer the questions from the journalists because that's the two-way connection. We watch you, you tell the journalists to tell us what's going on. That's how this works.
Exactly.
So,
and if I was able to raise the question to you months ago that a Guardian reporter asked, that means there's a likelihood that there's plenty of fans out there that had the same question too and wanted to know the reason and the rationale for
that
all
reporter
of it.
has access that fans do not, and has an obligation to ask that question.
Yes,
and the athlete has an obligation to give an answer.
Sam, kiss me, because we agree right
It's
now.
like we went to college for this or something. I don't know.
I know, right? It's like we got the same degree or something. Who knew?
Well, enough Max hate. Let's get into Max, unless you want to pass it through at all. Do you want to talk about Max's retirement comments?
Happy to talk about that. I mean, I'm happy to talk about Max leaving the sport. Of course I am.
It seems like it's always been like a rumor and kind of coming up, and it's always a little bit like, well, Max is losing now. He can't get past the Alpine. He can't get past. He literally waved at Gasly as he got passed on the straight. I don't know if you saw that
today.
Man.
I did. I saw that
during the race, mind you. Like, he seems to be really disliking it, and I thought he had a great comment I listen to the actually official F1 podcast usually right after on my way home, and they usually play like a little clip of somebody's comment, when they talk about a driver. They played a full 3 minutes of Max's questionnaire about his possibly retiring, and I thought he gave some pointed remarks about, like, they were like, well, why, is it because you're not winning? Is it because you're 8th and 9th? And he's like, some people can think it that way. I don't. That's not my viewpoint. No, it's not great to be 8th or 9th. He's like, but hey, this isn't the first time I've been getting 8th and 9th in Formula One. He's like, I'm not upset about that. I'm upset that I'm getting 8th and 9th, and I don't like the regulations. Like, it's a double whammy. I'm not doing well, and it's not fun to drive. And when it comes down to it, I'm not enjoying myself. And he's like, I like the Red Bull team. They feel like family, but I get in this car, and it feels so antithetical to what he's been as a racing driver. And I think it's actually highlighting some of the concerns about this regulation itself, but that's a two-pronged question there, Ryan.
I have a couple thoughts here, Sam, because okay, he can say that in an interview, but I think, and we can take Lewis for example here. If he was having the car that Lewis is having right now, I don't think he'd be making the same comments. If you're fighting for podiums and stuff, I think you would still be you'd be enjoying it a lot more than what you're doing right now, losing out to an Alpine. And the other
aspect, I want to push back on that. Actually, I want to push back on that right away because I think there's a difference of. I think if he was in Lewis's situation right now, he would not be threatened retirement, but he would still be angry about the regulations. Because Leclerc himself was very upset with qualifying. Because what's going on with qualifying is that they don't.
Yes.
You know, they're like the power that goes on to these cars. They're not having enough power to go down the straights. They're losing energy at the end of the straights, and it's like it feels like they're pressing the NOS button in the Need for Speed games, and they run out of NOS by the end of the straight. So like Leclerc was legit pissed. Like how many times have we actually heard Leclerc be pissed about something? And he was So I think
that is a fair thing to say.
Yeah, I think he would still be angry about the regulations. Maybe not retirement angry, but angry.
And sure, but the other aspect I'm wanting to say is we are only 3 races into this regulation cycle, and Max is ready to just throw it all away because of how bad it is. Like,
well, he's got to deal with shitty journalists too, Ryan.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I got to deal with a semi-bad car, and I have to lose out to someone who's French.
And I get paid $70 million a year to do this,
and I'm getting paid buku amount of money every year. Boo hoo! My lobster's too buttery, or my steak's too juicy. All this bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, Max. Like, I'm sorry you're having a rough go of it, and I'm sorry the regulations aren't to your liking. But we are in that stage right now where they are working on refinement.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time, and I imagine it will get better. I think the criticism that Charles has, I think a lot of drivers has about, especially in qualifying, makes sense. Because for qualifying, you're trying to put in the best fucking lap possible, and you are like... It's 2 hands behind your back. You can't put in a great lap because you're like you said, you're losing the NOS by the end of the straight. Alex had a great comment about how every corner feels like a medium speed corner now. Yeah. There's no high speed, there's no low speed. It's just all one speed. Or Fernando saying that half the Aston Martin team could drive the car.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take a racing driver's skill. There are valid criticisms to this regulation cycle. But people, I think, are jumping ship way too early to just say fuck it all, I think.
I do agree that we're maybe a little too aggressive on saying fuck it all, but I do think changes do need to be made because I think Bearman's crash is because of these regulations.
Yes. No, and that absolutely. There needs to be changes, for sure.
And to explain to the layman, the people that were watching, the reason why that crashed, not only because like Colapento's there and it's like, Colapento, no, it's not that. Colapento ran out of battery, and so his car slowed down by I think about 40 miles per hour, and Bearman had no idea he was going to go that much slower. I mean, imagine you're on the highway and you're going 70, and the guy in front of you is going 70, and he just automatically goes down to 50, 45, and you got to make a decision.
You got to swerve into the median and hit a deer,
and so. Fucking Bearman hits a deer at 50 G's, man. And this is the first time I've seen a driver get out and limp. Yes. And when I saw him limp, I was like, oh, fuck, man. Bearman's young, Ferrari prodigy. He's doing really good.
Yes.
And he seemed to, I need to do some more research, but he was in the garage later. He looked like he was walking fine, so maybe it's just a moment. But like that crash was because of the regulations, not anybody else's fault. So there is some tweaks that need to be made. Not I don't think it's throwaway. It's just refinement, and I think
exactly.
Some refinements need to be made.
And that's the issue that I have with either if it's the F1 community or even some drivers like Max and some of the other ones too. Even Charles, like don't throw in the towel 3 races in. Let the FIA figure it out and make it better, safer, and all of those things. In my mind.
Well, do you think Max threatening retirement? I don't think it is a ploy or a political gambit, but do you think Max throwing his weight of championship status and threatening to leave is a way to put a little bit of pressure on the FIA to make?
No, actually, I think it is. I really do. I think that might be part of the game. I'm at a point now in these Max interviews where I don't know if he really wants to get out of F1 just yet.
Okay.
And I think maybe this is his way of doing it. And if so, sure, play the game, Max. But obviously, as fans, we don't know if that's true or not. So I'm going to take the direct quotes that you're saying in these interviews at face value.
I take
If
that
you
face
are-
value.
Yeah,
Honestly,
if
I don't
you're-
think it's a political game, but I think it could be used as one.
I could see it. If Max knows, like, I mean, obviously Max has to know, like, he is a highly regarded individual in F1. Like, I feel like it's literally Lewis, it's Max, it's Fernando, 50 feet of crap. Then you got Landon Norris.
Yeah.
It's like that image in Shark Tale.
Yeah.
There's whale poop, and then there's you. But like, for real though, if Max recognizes that, I'm sure he's like trying to like shake the powers that be any way he can to make the changes happen. But these changes are not going to happen overnight either. That's the biggest thing too.
They could if it's in the name of safety.
If it is in the name of safety, but you got to figure out a lot of shit too,
Yeah.
and how these cars are going to behave.
Yeah.
The good news is, Sam, we have 5 weeks between now and the next race. So this might be the time that a lot of refinement happens. Who knows?
I do. I think these. I hope in 5 weeks. You know, I was listening to Damon Hill saying like, you know, Mercedes is so strong it might not matter the most, but I think Mercedes is going to be hurting that we're not racing 2 races while they're still on the top step. Perhaps though, but perhaps that's a double-edged sword as well. Maybe McLaren can't learn what they need to learn in those 2 races. That's 3 hours of practice sessions to, you know, get more data under your belt.
This only helps Ferrari. I like it already.
It could help out Ferrari.
Despite the struggles, I'm happy that for 3 races in a row they've had someone on the podium, but it was a little bit of a gut punch to just recognize and just see that they looked like the 3rd best team on the grid this weekend.
Yeah.
And that does concern me a little bit. I do hope that this 5-week pause gives them enough time to catch up. I've already seen, I don't know if you saw this actually. Do you remember in China, they put in that little winglet on the halo? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, okay. You should look it up.
Okay.
So they slapped on an extra little winglet to the halo, to the little T-bar.
Yeah.
To help with airflow.
Okay.
They took it off because it wasn't like a permanent structure, but apparently, Sam, it is going to be a permanent structure for Miami going forward because they saw the benefits of it. So, like, I do see the innovation that Ferrari is trying to bring to close the gap to Mercedes. So I really do hope that come Miami, they come out swinging, and this might be a different season. But we'll have to see.
Just one more race. I'm telling you, we'll have it. We'll have it fixed up by one more.
One more race.
One more. We can do it. I'm telling you. Just give me one more race. Next one.
One more
Next time.
season. One more
Next
season, Sam.
Next regulation is ours. I'm telling you, the next one's ours.
If it's the next regulation, Sam, I might just end it all. I can't wait that long anymore. It is too long. It's too painful for me. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, to go over quickly the rest of the grid, I don't think we're going to spend too much time on them. You have here that Gasly had a great race, and he did. Best of the rest era field.
Yeah, Alpine is surprising me this season. Them and Haas.
It's
like
them
I know,
and Haas.
Yeah, I know Bearman crashed and that was
And he had his own
tragic, but
moments in
like
qualifying. But
yeah,
it's them and Haas, and it's like that's it is impressive. It is impressive.
especially from Alpine being dead last season, very nice. To being where they're at now this season, it is very impressive. I hope Colapinto moves up more in the grid and in these battles, and maybe can help out Gasly a little bit in these situations. But even so, it was kind of cool just seeing Gasly just like be like, no, you can't pass here, Max. No.
No.
And then, Gasly just got the better of him this weekend. So, yeah, hats off to Alpine. A rare comment for us towards the French.
A rare one. And fuck him because he didn't let Max go. So
The other thing, Sam,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up was we had some progress in the back of the grid.
yeah,
I don't know if you saw this.
I saw Albon pitting 17 times. That's what I saw.
Well, Aston Martin had a driver finish.
Yeah.
Sam Fernando. He survived the whole race
Fernando.
without any nerve damage.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know that for
Okay.
sure. We just know he finished
Okay.
the race.
But I mean, at least his hands didn't go numb.
That's
That
true.
counts for something, right?
It's a good way. He beat a Cadillac and he beat Albon's testing session. Alex was out there at the end just doing laps for data set. But yeah, Aston Martin finishing a race, that's a pretty big step up from the last two. And hats off. Hats off.
Baby steps. Baby steps, Sam. And you know what's really funny? To quickly revert back to our bet slip,
Yeah.
Sam, if Albon wasn't out there fucking around, my safe bet for you as Valtteri being the last classified driver would have hit for you.
Yeah.
So I just want to say mine wasn't that far
That's
from
true.
reality.
That's why it was a safe bet. And actually, I want to throw this into our bet slip review a little bit more about who actually hit and didn't. Fastest lap was your bet for me. Kimi got that, so it was not McLaren.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Albon pitting multiple times, fucked over Bottas's win. We did not get a double Ferrari podium from me, and Leclerc definitely did not win. So I think this is just a reminder to everybody out there that sports betting is not a good way to make money. Okay,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
none of our 6 bets we chose won at all. We need to go back and to see if any of our bets made it at all.
We are very poor over here at the Cool Down
we are
Rundown,
very
folks.
drunk with our shots and very poor if we were actually betting.
Yes.
Well, would you like to get into the Ryan's point system? We have a new championship leader with Kimi Antonelli, and let's see what's going on with the Ryan's point system. Now that the McLarens are both actually, doing races, let's see what's going on.
Sam, a lot of movement, and you're correct. McLaren came out swinging this weekend, and they have kind of shaken up the standings a little bit. So I'm very excited to go over this with you. Start with constructors. Mercedes, as we know, is in P1 with 237. Ferrari P2 at 191. McLaren from the top rope move up 4 positions, Sam. They are now in P3 at 110.
Okay.
And so Haas, Alpine, Racing Bulls, and Red Bull all drop down 1 position respectfully. So Haas is at P4 at 102, Alpine P5 at 101. So close battle between them. Racing Bulls is at P6 with 94. Red Bull is at P7 with 86. 8 through 11 stayed the same. Williams at 8 with 51. Audi at 9 with 36. Cadillac at 10 with 29. Aston Martin at 11 with 11 points. So
The only difference here, Ryan, with the actual standings is that Red Bull and Racing Bulls are flipped. Red Bull is beating Racing Bull. And then Audi and Williams are flipped. Audi's ahead of Williams, but they're tied on points for only 2 points. So it must be a, best position. So, but it's just interesting on actually how close the two are so far.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So going over to the Drivers' Championship, as in the regular point system, Kimi is in sole position now of the driver standings. He's at P1 at 124. George dropped down to P2 at 113. Charles and Lewis stayed at 3 and 4 respectfully. Charles at 100 even. Lewis with 91 points. They've been fighting each other a lot, so I kind of like seeing this really close battle between them. There's a tie for 5th between Pierre and Lando Norris right now at 63 apiece. Pierre moved up 1 position. Lando moved up 2 positions. Liam stayed at 6 with 58. Oliver, because of the crash, unfortunately dropped down 3 positions to 7th at 55 points, stayed the same. Max stayed at 8th with 51. There's a tie at 9th, too, with Esteban and Oscar at 47 apiece. Oscar, though, because he actually finished a full race and made the podium, Sam, moved up the most this weekend. He moved up 7 positions.
Wow.
10th is Carlos at 41. He dropped 1. 11th is Franco at 38. He dropped 1. 12 is Arvid with 36. He dropped 1. 13 is Isaac at 35. He stayed the same. 14 is Gabriel with 34. He dropped 2. 15 is Sergio with 25. He dropped 1. 16th is Nico with 24. He moved up 1 position. 17th is Alex with 21. He dropped 1. 18th is Valtteri with 14. Stayed the same. 19th is Fernando at 11. He stayed the same. And 20th is Lance Stroll with 5 points. That is your Rise point system right now.
Where's your 21st and 22nd?
Well, that's because we had a tie right now for 5th and 9th.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
Since it's a tie, I adjust the standings as they should be.
Got it.
Yeah, technically 2 people for 5, 2 people for 9 right now. That'll change again here in a week, and there'll probably be a tie somewhere else on the grid.
Technically, the numbers are a little. Liam being 6th should actually be 7th. because of the tie, technically.
Wait, what?
So your point system, you have you move the image again, but you have a tie for 5th. So whoever gets ahead of that, the other person would be 6th. So Liam, who's in 6th,
Sam,
should be 7th.
I did that last year, and you're like, no. It should be. I did.
No.
I
know what I said was that when they're tied, the person with the best overall position throughout all the races gets to be above the other one. It's the count back. That's what I said.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I don't get paid enough to do the count back.
Yeah.
If we get a
You've
sponsorship,
eliminated
I'll
2
do
positions.
that. Listen, this is all done by
all
hand.
for fun.
It's all for fun.
Ryan's not getting paid enough for this. So.
Yes. Whenever we get a sponsorship by someone, God, I hope someday soon, then I'll finally take care of this.
Subscribe to the
Sure,
Patreon and sponsor us.
Follow our Substack.
Yeah.
I will fix that going forward, Sam. Thank you.
Okay. Wait, that's why
No. This is all about improvement. It's all about improvement.
It's all about getting better.
It is.
You know, sometimes we have drunk drivers that get better and become sober and become designated drivers. Sometimes our happy dads become mad dads. Ryan, I would like to get into our awards part of this podcast, our driver picks.
Yes.
I say we get into our designated driver, the guy that we always choose, who can be reasonable with his alcohol and make sure we get home nice and safe. Do you have somebody in mind for our designated driver?
I do. I have 2. Count them. 2.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll tell you the one I'm leaning towards the most is Pierre Gasly.
Okay.
I think he drove a solid race. I think the fact that he was able to hold Max back in an Alpine really just bodes well for how well he was driving today. Sure, there was other factors involved, but he still had to put in the work to defend Max for as long as he did. I think he drove a great race. A consolation pick, if you don't agree with that, would be Charles. I think he also drove a very solid race. He had some good battles with Lewis. He had some good battles with George as well. So those are my 2 picks. What about you?
I like the Alpine pick. I like Gasly.
Yeah.
I think he said it's fine. Literally best of the rest, you know. Let me pull up the first person that wasn't a Mercedes, McLaren, or Ferrari was Gasly. He beat everybody else out, you know, including Max. It's well done. Max got past him. He got past him again. I mean, Leclerc had some good moments as well, but I think we should give our flowers to the underdog sometimes. So Gasly, congratulations.
Oh yeah, you won.
You won. Now,
well, as we have a designated driver, there's always someone that's had a little too much to drink, Sam. Someone that definitely should not have their car keys on them, but still drives anyway. Oh. Sam, who was our drunk driver of the day?
I was about to say, I was like, me. Oh, no. Ryan, Ryan, I'm gonna need your help on this one because I honestly, I only have maybe a mad dad for our pick.
Sam, there's such a slam dunk here.
I'm
it's
missing
Oliver Bearman.
That wasn't his fault. That's not his fault, man.
But I mean, come on.
It's because he crashed. Because he avoided a deer in the road. He does not get drunk driver.
I don't know. Because in the eyes of the insurance, he would be at fault.
Actually, it's an act of God. An act of Colapinto. Honestly, if we were taking the weekend over, I would say Perez gets drunk driver for like literally running into somebody during practice.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, no, I don't think it can be. I don't think it can be Bearman. It wasn't his fault. It's the same as like when Danny Rick crashed into the wall to avoid killing another driver during the Zandvoort Grand Prix a couple years back,
and it ruined his career
and played a part. Danny Rick did plenty of that on his own, but for him wrecking into the wall wasn't his fault. I don't think Bearman wrecking into the wall was his fault at all.
Agree to disagree, but fine. Okay, then we got to figure out who is our drunk driver then, because that was my only shoo-in, Sam.
Well, I thought there wasn't too many drunk people out there, man.
We have to give it to someone.
We do have to give it to somebody.
Okay, actually, I got one. Kimi.
Okay. 4.
Because he was so drunk, he forgot to hit the gas when the light turned green.
He hit the gas a little too hard and spun his tires.
Yeah, that's the only one I can really think of. He might have won the race, but he might have been a little drunk doing it.
Give the race winner to the drunk driver.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for it. I think that's just more to show that not much happened in the Grand Prix, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
I still
Kimi.
think it should have been Oliver, but it's okay. It's
You know,
okay. I'll concede. I'll concede.
Hold up. Let's ask the chat. We have not asked him a question the entire podcast. Do you think that how do you want to phrase it? Do you think Kimi versus Bearman, or do you think Bearman should have gotten it over his crash?
Or Sam, how about we just ask them an open-ended question and they just let us know?
I want to know their opinion on what we're talking about. I
Oh
don't
my God.
care what they actually think, Ryan. I
Chat,
want to know
I'm
which one
trying
of
to
us is
help
right.
you out.
I
Do you
don't
hear this, man.
Chat, I want you to be my platform and to tell me who is right. It's got to be me.
All right, so
You're the
what's
one who
your
asked the question,
again?
so it's ultimately the power's up to you, Ryan.
You are right, but I will adhere to what is discussed. So what is the question again, Sam?
I think the question should be, should Oliver Bearman been the drunk driver?
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Chat, let us know. Please tell Sam that I'm right. You know who is correct here. It is me. It's always me.
Yeah, all right. We're getting very we have a very love-hate relationship with chat here.
Well, you're okay. I'm good cop. You're bad cop.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, this is like the Lego movie. We're Liam Neeson right now.
They don't know that good cop is actually very like very withholding of food when he gets angry or something. Like he hurts you in other ways.
Yeah, but it's not in front of them. They don't
it's
know.
behind
They
closed
don't know.
doors. It's behind closed doors. Well, speaking of behind closed doors, sometimes we got mad dads lurking in the closet. Who, Ryan, do you think is the mad dad of the Japanese Grand Prix?
Sam, this one was also a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be upset if you say otherwise. It has to be George Russell.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I agree. George
That
Russell,
man was having a temper tantrum.
He really was. This is definitely not like another person to throw onto it, but a part of that whole thing. Again, fucking Toto Wolff gets on the goddamn radio to talk to George to calm down. He's the only fucking team principal who gets directly onto his driver's radio to talk shit on him. It pisses me off, Ryan. It's making me mad, Dad.
Okay, but Sam, I think I'm gonna explain it again. I think he's just coming on the radio to be like, "Hey, I know it sucks, but lock the fuck in. You still have to drive this goddamn
not the
car."
vibe I get from it. It's like shut the fuck up, George. Drive the car. And I don't think that's Toto's prerogative to do at all. If you're having a bad day at work, do you want your manager to be like, "Hey, I know that was a shitty thing that happened, but you need to suck it the fuck up and get going"? Or do you want to like just vent for a second to your guy? You're venting to your race engineer just to like,
Sam, it is different because I work in an office job.
yeah.
And
And these guys have what's called race engineers who are paid to listen to them and to cajole them.
If George is so pissed off, let me give you a hypothetical here. George is seeing red. He is so mad. He just pit, and a lap later, safety car happens, and then he knows he is fucked, and his teammate is going to win the race and lead the championship. This man is seeing red. He is so uncontrollably angry. He is bitching, pissing, and moaning. In that state, when he is driving a high-performance vehicle around a track at upwards of 180 miles an hour, don't you want your guy to not see red so he doesn't crash the car and then ruin his chances even more? I think in this condition, Sam, I don't fault Toto for wanting to intervene to make sure George just like puts it away, bitches about it later, and then continues on with the race.
Who do you think would be better to deliver that message? HR or the CEO of the company?
I mean, sure.
I think the person that specifically
Okay, but no, hold on. If my CEO came in and let me know, like, hey, stop it, I'm just like, Okay.
Dude, but yeah, but like this is a guy that's in the moment competing in the court, and then the guy.
But it's like it's a little check. It's just like a little. It's like a little angel on your shoulder, just being like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I know you're upset."
But it wasn't. It didn't come. No, it did not come off like that.
It's not going to come off like that because he's the fucking CEO.
I don't think your scenario works because it's George saying one line. If George was going off on a tirade for like 4 laps, sure.
Maybe Toto knows what George is like, though.
Toto's the only one who does this, man. He's the only one who gets on the radio to tell his drivers to shut the fuck up.
Who has the most World Drivers' Championships among the grid for team principals?
How many times do you think he got on to fucking Lewis Hamilton's radio and told him to shut the fuck up?
I'm sure he did at some point, even before we were fans.
Yeah, we gotta look that one up.
We'll have to do a lot of footage
We need to do some
watching.
homework. Anyways, George Russell gets mad, Dad. I think we both agree on that one.
Yes.
Ryan, we have a month off in May. We will get an episode out for sure. Everybody,
Maybe another.
stick.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Stick with us. We will be back for sure in Miami. It's the first weekend in Miami. It'll be Eastern Standard Time finally for a race for us American fans. Looking
Thank
forward
God.
to it. It'll be a quick month, buddy. But I'm really looking forward to watching the next race with you.
Me too. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see Ferrari on top.
See you there.